Welcome, ladies. I want to chat to you today, as shared on my Instagram stories, about the big breakthroughs I had last week on the retreat I went on. I really last minute in March booked a place on this retreat in Lisbon with my new coach, Rose, and it wasn't planned. It wasn't in the 2024 plan to go on this retreat, but as is so many things in life, when you know that you belong somewhere and you know that you get that intuitive nudge to just invest in yourself and dive in, that's genuinely what I felt when I made the decision to go on this retreat. And oh my god, so many breakthroughs. And what was really interesting is naturally when you go on these kinds of things, you really sit and reflect on how far you've come. And I am in such a different place now, both in my business but also just in my personal healing work, than I was 2 years ago on the last retreat I went on. And I have three big lessons and breakthroughs that I really noticed and am taking away from last week for myself personally, that I feel will be so beneficial for some of you ladies to hear as well. And the beauty of this, there's like a beautiful trickle down effect when I invest in myself and I'm doing the work that I also share with my clients. There's this beautiful trickle down effect where when I receive a takeaway or an idea, or I have a mindset shift or a mindset breakthrough, I can pass that wisdom on, I can pass that reframe on, I can pass that tip on or lesson on to my amazing clients and you, my amazing community too. So that's why I wanted to do this live. I think someone out there needs to hear at least one of these three things. So the first big breakthrough and lesson I'm taking away is that energy leads, and people really, really notice when you're doing this work, when you're in your mindset work, when you're in your energy work, when you're in your healing work, when you're using manifestation in your day-to-day life. It's an energy thing. It's not something logical. It's not something that people can quite put their finger on. It's like a felt sensation. And I had so much evidence of that on the retreat last week because I've just joined this group. So I don't know any of these women. I travelled to Lisbon by myself. All I knew is that I'd had a couple of Zoom calls where these women have obviously seen me ask an initial question or seen me just say hi for the first time. This isn't like I'm with my best friends or I'm with clients who've known me for years. I'm talking like women who I've literally just met. And on the first night of the retreat, we went out for dinner to all meet and mingle a little bit before the retreat began. And a few women came up to me and said, I just wanted to say that you've literally just joined, but I can already tell you're gonna do amazing. Or one woman came up to me and said, she said, I was hoping you'd be here at this dinner tonight because I had to tell you that I feel something within you. I see something within you. And you know when you just meet someone and you know they've got it? She was like, you've got it. You've got something. She said, when you ask a question on the Zoom call, I perk my ears up because I'm like, ooh, this is going to be good. And we did this exercise a few days into the retreat. And it's such a great thing to do. I love stuff like this. She had us ask each other what we really noticed about the other person. And it had to be obviously nothing to do with looks. So everything to do with personality, energy, like mindset, how that person comes across. And all of the girls said, like, you have this energy to you, you have this quiet, this quiet power, this like internal confidence. Like when you speak really concisely. And all of that to say, I always say to my clients, people notice in your energy when you're doing this work, because I hear the feedback from my clients that their boss has said there's something different about you, or their partner has said you're like in such a good place at the moment, like you're so calm, you're so happy, like you're a joy to be around. Or their friend has said, girl, like you are glowing, what are you doing, like you're inspiring me so much lately. And so to experience that mirroring, that people feel my energy from women I've literally just met, is a real testament to that notion, that belief that I hold for my clients. So to be able to see that and feel that from other people, that my energy is coming across in a completely different way than it would have been a few years ago, is just such a validation for me, not of myself, not like, oh, people like me, but a validation of the work that I do. The work works. Because when you do the work, people notice, and it's in your energy. It's not something tangible. People don't go, oh, I like her because she shouts the loudest, or I like her because she has this handbag, or I like her because she's achieved XYZ. It's no, I like her because I'm drawn to her, because there's something in her energy that is magnetic to me, that is inspiring to me, that is making me want to be around her. And it was such a testament to that, because I say it to clients all the time. So that was a really beautiful takeaway and a really nice reminder, and also a really beautiful opportunity to receive that feedback that so many of my amazing clients get as well from this healing work that we're all doing together. So that was the first thing. The second thing is more of a personal one again, but then there's a really juicy lesson in here. So a big breakthrough for me that happened last week. On the first day, as with any of these like in-person events, I'll be doing this at my event in June. There are still a few tickets left, by the way. It's great to set an intention. You know, when you're going to something in person, you know you're going to be working through things. It's really powerful to have an intention, to have something specific that you are wanting to focus on in that environment. Essentially, like the reason why you have stepped into that space. And my intention was to really acknowledge the major expansion that is happening for me this year and over the next few years. There are huge things happening in my life and my business over the next few years. We are moving into a bigger house. We are selling our first home. We are getting married. I am growing my business. I am making different decisions in my business. I would like to grow more of a team over the next few years. There are so many big, expansive things that are happening. And I just said my intention was not to think big, because I already am thinking about these things, but to do big, like to have the big, bold, brave action steps really match up to these big, lofty, exciting dreams that I have. And I said that off the back of what's been a couple of years of really calibrating my energy, my nervous system, my boundaries, my time, to a sense of internal safety and a really strong foundation. I have not spent the last 2 years really driving tons of energy forward in my life. I've not been taking these huge quantum leaps forward and making these really bold moves or taking risks. I've really been working on that steady, strong foundation of my inner work, my healing work, my mindset, but also my business, my life, like the foundations in my life too. And so I said, I've got to a really great place. I feel really good. I feel really safe. I feel so good in myself. And so now I feel like I can push forward and take risks and expand again. And my coach said, are you ready to get really uncomfortable? She said, are you ready to be so uncomfortable? And my immediate knee-jerk response was yes. And whilst that might sound strange to some people listening, who might think, but of course you don't want to get uncomfortable, you're a human being, like we're designed to want to stay in our comfort zone. What I realised off the back of a lot of reflection after that intention was shared and after she said that to me, is that I feel so safe in myself, that I have that internal foundation of safety, and I've created a really beautiful life where I am supported, I am loved, I have the foundations in place is what I'm saying. And I've done a shitload of nervous system healing work to really regulate myself. So I feel safe now in taking a risk, right? I feel safe in making a big, bold, brave move, like tripling our mortgage or letting go of an entire program in my business. You girls will know, like, I let go of Next Level You, which I've been running for years. If I didn't feel safe within myself, I would not be able to make those moves. And it's the fact that I feel so safe within myself and like I'm good, I've got myself, I am regulated. Because I feel that, I'm safe and I can do something really shit scary. And the two are coexisting alongside each other. And that's really beautiful to recognise, because like so many people, before I did this work, I used to attach myself, and essentially my nervous system was dependent on those external circumstances. So when I was taking a risk, or when I was challenging myself, when I was taking a certain action, that knocked me off balance so much that I completely struggled to regulate myself at all, and found myself really triggered if something wasn't going right or it was taking longer than I wanted it to. How many of you have felt like that? Like, oh, I've took this leap because I want to land that promotion, or I want to grow my business, or I want to earn that money, or move into that house. But I'm now in that sticky, messy middle in between bit where it's not quite happened yet. And now I'm feeling so triggered, so stressed, so like in survival mode. And what I realise is that because I put in the hard yards of doing that healing work, doing that nervous system work, really getting to that place of a steady, strong foundation in myself, in my life, in my business, I feel really safe in taking big risks, right? In taking financial risks, in taking career risks, in taking like personal risks, you know, in trusting in myself and taking that leap. And that feels really exciting because it means that I'm headed into this season of expansion, quantum leap, growth, but I feel calmer than I've ever felt before, which is really interesting, isn't it? And I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Like, I am taking more risk than I have in years. Like I said, personally and in my business, I'm taking more risks than I have in years, and yet I feel the calmest I've ever felt. And when you can take those big scary action steps but still feel like you are okay in yourself because you have your toolkit, because you can regulate your nervous system, because you're making actions that are so connected to your intuition, to your values, to your version of success, all the things I help clients with, you can feel so good in making those big scary decisions. And then the irony is, it works out even better than you could ever imagine, because you're not coming from a place of lack or scarcity or fear. You're coming from a place of like pure potential and excitement, which feels amazing. So that's been a big breakthrough, and the lesson I want to pass on is the healing work works in that when you can have that internal sense of safety, you can be making those big bold moves in your career and in your life without needing to spiral, right? Without needing to fall down that rabbit hole of self-doubt or of scarcity mindset or of panic. You can really come back to that centered place. And the other little note I added here, which is really important, is when you're in that grounding, safety, like healing phase, like I was, that doesn't mean that you can't be growing, right? That doesn't mean that you can't be achieving goals. Don't get me wrong. I have been achieving goals over the past 2 years. I have been growing. I've been growing personally. I've been growing my business. I've been growing in my relationship. What I mean is that you can enter this phase, right, of, it's like, imagine pulling back an arrow and letting go a bit. It's like, or a slingshot. That's the image I get with like almost like a quantum leap phase where lots of different things are changing and lots of different things are happening. You can really access that place of safety when you've gone through that phase of really regulating yourself and really accessing and discovering, like cultivating that feeling of safety within. And I think it's knowing what phase you need to be in is really helpful, because some of you might need to be in a phase of healing and recuperation and really steadying yourself, really creating that strong foundation. And some of you are in a phase of quantum leaps as well, of like having that safety and wanting to like catapult upwards. In both phases, you can still be manifesting, you can still be growing, but you're prioritizing your nervous system and your body and your energy either way, which is where the magic always happens. So that is the second one. The third and final one that I want to share is sometimes you've got to go first. Sometimes you've got to be the first. So what do I mean by that? You might have nobody else in your life who is doing what you are doing. So you might be looking around and looking for a model of someone who's achieved the goal that you have right now, or someone who's running a business, or someone who's working in that industry or in that role, or earning that income or living in that home, you might not have a model of that in your personal life right now. And that's okay, because you get to go first. And there's something really beautiful about that, because in going first, that means that you are essentially stepping into a role of leadership. A role of leadership, a role of being the light, being the inspiration. So whilst you might not see other people in your life achieving or manifesting the goals that you want right now, you get to be that torchbearer, achieve those goals, manifest that life, and show those people you care about that they can rise with you, they can come with you. And as someone who, for example, does not have entrepreneurship in my family, as someone who desires wealth, desires to be the first millionaire in my family, that those are shoes to fill, right? And whether it's the same for you, whether that it's that wealth for you, whether it's entrepreneurship for you, whether it's someone hasn't been in that executive level role in your family, or no one in your family went to university until you did, or no one in your family lived in a house that size before or in that area. There are these ceilings that as ambitious women we're breaking through, that it's easy to want to look around and be like, someone show me the way, please. And whilst that's what mentors and amazing coaches are for, and people who you can look up to in your industry, you don't need that to make the move. And you can be brave and go first. And in going first and in creating that life for yourself, you are being that torchbearer and passing that on to anyone else in your life who also desires that. But maybe for whatever reason, they don't see that it's possible for them. And I mean, there's a whole other conversation to be had around ambition and success and what it really means for future generations in your family to see you creating this beautiful life of success, health, healing, happiness, joy, pleasure, freedom, travel, whatever it is that your like deepest desires. There's so much to be said on future generations, whether that be future generations in your industry, future generations in your family overall. Like, I think about my beautiful niece, and for her to see someone who is standing for female leadership and showing her that, or even just the fact that I can build a certain level of wealth so that she can access that, like, when she needs to, if she needs to. Or your own kids as well, if you want kids in the future, or you already have kids. It's thinking like bigger and beyond yourself in your success that you are cultivating, the legacy that you're passing on, the lessons that you're passing on, the light that you are shining and showing the amazing people that you care about. You're showing them the way. And like I said, those feel like big shoes to fill, but my biggest takeaway and breakthrough for myself personally is that I know I can fill those, and you can too, with whatever it is that is whatever it is your path is, right? In your career success or your business success, even your healing. I think about how, as women doing this work, you are not only doing this healing work for yourself so that you can be free from the triggers, from the self-doubt, from the stress, the overwhelm, the survival mode, so you can thrive, but you're also doing this healing work and healing and releasing, and I don't know if vindicating is the right word, but completely like setting free all the women in your female lineage, certainly, and your ancestors who may have gone through that trauma and been through that pattern or that cycle, and that cycle has just kept passing down and passing down until you broke it through this work that you're doing. So this isn't just about passing on that success or that model of being this amazing, independent, successful, ambitious woman, fabulous. It's like so multi-layered and goes so deep, from the mindset and healing work, from manifesting your dream life, from showing up in the world as that authentic, true, shining version of yourself. All of this is you being this leader in your life, like the leading lady, and showing everyone you care about the way. And so that was my 3 big takeaways from the retreat, and I wanted to share them. So I hope you needed to hear one of them, and let me know, maybe DM me if any one of them resonated with you personally. If you're listening on the podcast, I'll pop the link in the show notes for you to reach out. For everyone, I wanted to invite you to find out about my brand new group program. This isn't going to launch until June, but we are inviting dreamy clients inside in the DMs. So if you are an ambitious woman who is looking to take your success in your career to the next level in the next 30 to 90 days, and you want to find out more about this amazing group, please DM me the word success and we can have a chat and I can send you all the details. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I will see you next week for another episode.